What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Mattel WWE Elite Series 47B Viktor of the Ascension. Really happy I have Viktor in hand. I was really looking forward to an Elite version of the Ascension. I know WWE doesn't do much with them, but they are some of my favorite wrestlers. On the side we have an image of Viktor right here. Same image of Viktor on this side. On the back we have an image of Viktor as well as some bio. He is 6'2", weighs 219 pounds, from the Wasteland. Ring attire is from January 2016, signature move, the Fall of Man. Career highlight is he is one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions alongside his partner Connor. Other figures of this line include Kane, The Rock, Brian Pillman, Goldust, and Connor. Collecting all of them gives you this exclusive diorama, which, as you know, I'm not a fan of that diorama. Really happy I have the figure in hand, so what we're going to do now is take a little break, get him opened up, and then we go on to the rest of his review. So sit tight, everyone. And so here we have Viktor posing out of the packaging. Before we get onto the figure, let's actually get this out of the way first. He comes with the same stand and backdrop that we've been getting with all the recent Elite figures, and again, not a fan of this. I really do not care for this backdrop. Stand is pretty good. I like the stand. And more than likely, I'm going to be using it for Viktor here, and I'll go more onto that in a little... Well, I'll actually show that off right now. In case you're wondering what happened, he is having a really difficult time standing on his own 2 feet. The reason for that is mine has incredibly loose ankles, and I talk about this every time I get an Elite figure. I talk about how I prefer stiff ankles over loose ankles. I'm not even putting much effort into moving this, and it's moving. That's how loose his ankles are. I'm pretty sure I have another pair of boots that I can just swap, but little disappointing that I won't be able to have him with his proper boots because these ankles are just so loose. And of course now he wants to stand perfectly because why not? It's an action figure review and nothing goes right when you really want it to. But going on the figure, really happy that we finally have an Elite version of the Ascension, and we'll show off Viktor and Connor together in a little bit. He does come with one accessory, being his shoulder pads. Now, as you would imagine, it looks nice. I love the shoulder pads, but getting it on and off Viktor here is kind of tricky. I didn't really think about it till I got him out of packaging, but you can see his ponytail here goes behind the collar, and as you would imagine, that's not too easy to undo without feeling like you're going to break the figure. I have already got it off him once. The ponytail isn't the most flexible, so do use caution when taking it off. It is only attached via this little strap under his arm. The best way I found getting his shoulder straps off of him is trying to fold the shoulder straps in on themselves and pulling up until you get it over his head, making sure that the ponytail is staying as flush as possible. Get it up over his head and slide it through the ponytail. And that gets his shoulder pads off. And let's just pose him in the back for right now. Really love the detail they put into the shoulder straps, or shoulder pads, whatever you want to call them. All the red paint that you see on it is sculpted on. It's not just paint. Except right here on the collar where it should be painted, they left that black. Also, the strap right here should have red going along it, but it doesn't, as you can see. And the clip right here, it's black where it should be silver. Really like this attire or ring gear, and I kind of wish that we got this with a Battle Pack Ascension, but let's actually move out so we can go more onto Viktor himself. I'm going to say really nice figure. He's a really basic looking figure. Like, there's really not much to him. Let's actually show off that face sculpt, which is the exact same head sculpt that we got with his Battle Pack release. So nothing to complain about there. I do like the way the paint looks on his face. Ponytail is nicely done. He is missing his tattoo, but that's because it is a copyrighted tattoo and they can't put it on the figure. Overall, really liking this figure. You can see that his little tassel here is a separate piece. And the paint on him is really well done. You can see all the little rivets are painted on. They're not sculpted, they are just painted, but they are really clean, and the black lines are also really clean. You can see his black boots with the red markings on them. Again, more than likely going to swap out his boots for another figure because these ankles are ridiculously loose. Overall, really like this figure. I'm glad I picked him up. But let's actually get him posed so we can go on to his articulation. Well, before we go on to his articulation, let's actually show off his original basic figure. So we'll move Viktor right here, move the camera a little bit, and then we'll bring in his basic figure. And here we have his elite figure posed next to his basic figure, and as you can see, really good detail on the elite figure. I really do like the tassel and the paint job here. Kind of wish that we did get a black attire with, the elite figure, but I'm a fan of red, so I can let that slide. I do think the eyes are painted better on the elite version, although his head kind of bobbles looking at it now, so that's a little disappointing. No, his head didn't bobble. And yes, if you really wanted to, you could attach the shoulder pads to your basic figure. But let's actually go on to Viktor's articulation here. He does have a ball jointed head. He can look up and down slightly, although it does have a tendency to want to look forward all the time. He does swivel at the neck as well as bobble his head left and right. Arms on the ball joint go out to about this far. Do a full 360 on both sides. A little loose on mine. Bicep swivel. He has an elbow joint. Spins and bends at the wrist. No problem there. He does have an ab crunch which goes back and forth. Then we do get a thigh or a waist swivel, which is pretty standard. Legs go forward, back, and out. He spins at the thigh, double jointed in the knees. Swivel at the boot. We get a hinge in the ankle, which again, mine is really loose. And we do get some rocker ankles, which is pretty good rocker ankles on Connor here. So that's pretty good. So that's Connor for you. So what are we going to do? Well, Viktor, excuse me, Connor is later. But what we're going to do now is take a little break, get Viktor posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. So sit tight, everyone. And so here we have Viktor posed for my final thoughts. You can see Connor over here in the background. And overall, I really do like this figure. It does kind of suck that mine has really loose ankles. I know there's a way to tighten those joints, and I'm going to look up a video tutorial on how to do that. Maybe I'll even get around to showing you guys how to do it if you guys really want to see how to tighten joints. But as it stands, getting him alone, I don't think most people would like that, but getting him with Connor here, I think this is a really good elite, I don't want to say set because they're individuals, but if you are a fan of the Ascension, I really recommend you pick up both figures because, you can't have the Ascension without both Viktor and Connor because, they're a tag team. Tag teams work best together. But I've actually found these guys at Walmart. I actually went in after work and they were putting out a fresh case out. Knew I had to get these guys the moment I saw it said Elite on the shipping box, so I went ahead and got these guys. If you can find them, definitely add them to your collection because they are a welcome update to the basic figures that we got. And both shoulder pads work for the Elite and basic Ascension, so just throwing that out there. As always, guys, I'm going to wrap up my video here, so don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, tell me what you think of Viktor and maybe Connor over here. Let me know what you guys think of them. Do you think they're worth it? Do you think they're not? Let me know down in the comments. As always, go ahead and check out all my WWE action figure reviews. They're all up, and I try to have something every week for you guys. Let's actually move him a little off screen. But as always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. And if it fits in my collection, I definitely will have a look at it. And until next time, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000, and I'll see you later. Take care, everyone. My